Welcome everyone to Miracle Sunday with Pröhl and Newton. And we're in March's topic, meeting your true self. And yeah, as usual on a Sunday, it gets a bit lazy around the around the precise time. So we're a bit late, starting off a bit late. Thank you for your patience again. But yeah, meeting your true self, like there's nothing to hide, nothing to adjust to. And you're just letting yourself be as you are. Joshua, it's great again to join up with you again. And for
Yeah,
you, it's already early afternoon, I suppose.
yeah. Kind of very drowsy here because after lunch, after nap,
Hmm.
and yeah, feeling slowed down and all that. So
Beautiful. Yeah,
yeah,
that's my vibe as well. Just um, yeah, tuning back into 3D and
yeah.
mhm,
So today's theme once again, Andreas, it's meeting our true self.
mhm.
Yeah.
I
So
come I come with an inspiration actually, like that I just received in a meditation, and um the the visual was like we receive in a way the burden of a world, or we made ourselves a burden of a world, and and for none this is actual natural. It's not natural to be in a world um that is not our true home. And for every mind, it is the thought of a burden, something to carry around. And we kind of trained ourselves to be responsible for the burden, and to keep it, basically to keep it and take care of it. Like, it's almost like an inheritance that's been handed down from, from generations to generations. But it's just a thought. And the
mm,
visual that I received was, if I let that drop, if I let the burden and the heaviness and the gravitational pull of the world just drop, it lifts me out. Like there's a natural unfolding, or almost like a transportation, being transported into another realm, which is present, of course, but it seems to be, for a moment, it seems to be a journey of letting go and trusting the process.
mm, yeah. And the challenge obviously is where we find ourselves tempted to be addicted to the our own making, our own creation, so that we don't feel like dropping it and rather holding it closer and closer as if it's the only treasure we have. And so this, I think this whole battle is between what we really want and what we actually don't want.
Mm.
But we are holding it and uh, coming to that sense of discrimination, that
Mm.
distinctive knowing between uh, what is really inside, what is really deep within, and that superficial skin, which we often wear and we get addicted to. But most often, I think our experiences in silence, particularly, and in deep silence, I think we're managing somewhat that process of dropping, as you said, and so that you step inside. Interestingly, Andreas, many of the new thought teachers, if you, some of you must be familiar with teachers, Ernst Holmes or Charles Fillmore or John Randolph Price. A lot of New Thought teachers had been teaching this in 60s and 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, that you are that supreme, sovereign, God self. And we can actually find that distinction, train ourselves, like course says, train your mind.
Hmm.
So every day, bit by bit, train ourselves to sense with our inner senses, rather, that sublime feel of who we are within, and grow that sense of self step by step, and till it becomes tangible, till it becomes, uh, you come to know that you are that more than you are this, you know. So it's a matter of uh, an everyday accomplishment of um, sitting back, withdrawing from the world, and sitting in silence and tasting it with faith, a lot of faith and courage. But once you start feeling that sense of God's self within, I think we uh, get more courageous to continue with that journey. So this course, so sometimes I tell my students here that there is a there are many little courses inside A Course in Miracles. Uh, in the sense that when you as you go deeper and deeper with the material, particularly by doing the forgiveness process, both outside and inside, these levels unravel and unfold. And you see that Course in Miracles mentions about this God self everywhere. And all it says is that, hello, you're not this, rather, you're not, you're that. And so, I think this, obviously, it becomes easier and easier once you cross the threshold of letting go of that temptation of wanting to be only this. And obviously most often our suffering in the world, the pain that we encounter in our private lives, our daily lives, in the world, is certainly helpful, because uh, that makes us want, obviously, first to run away from the world, from because we are unable to, like you said, the burden is the right word, and we don't know what to do with the burden, and you flee. Most of the prophets fled in the beginning. They just went away to mountains or woods. But that getting away is also a way of kind of gathering one's own courage to make a new journey. And this journey becomes easier, like I said, it becomes easier once you feel that feeling, that you have that some tangible feeling inside. And as human, we sometimes would want evidence. Everyone, even Moses, wanted evidence, something. But we do get these evidences, and but I also feel that we squander it. You know, maybe for a few weeks or months we do this diligently, and we work towards this finding our true self within, and we sometimes we come to the precipice, the edge of it. We know that it is there, and then something from outside comes and takes our attention away, and we totally get swept off our feet. And I found, I mean, this, I'm talking from my own personal experience, that, that purity of awareness is at reach. I can I can reach it, but something more gross comes and then
Mhm.
grabs me away. And this has happened multiple times in my life. And then it could be after a few months that then I recognize and realize and remember that, oh God, I was there. And then I lost it. So, but then we once again we restart the process. But like Jesus says in the course, every effort has its result. Every effort that you have already made, put in, has taken you a bit ahead, obviously. So there's always some accomplishment that has happened, and it helps,
Mhm.
and then you build upon it and so forth. But
Yeah.
and one day you meet, you see the Buddha on the road, like they say. You see the Christ in your heart, and you sometimes you wake up and you know you are that. You are, oh my God, it's all these while you were that and you didn't, you were playing this.
Yeah. Uh, our daily bread give us today is one of the prayers, and I relate that a lot to the daily experience of in being unlimited or being released or however you want to call it. But that nourishment of my soul in the present moment, that's really what I crave for, what my soul craves is craving for. And um, I see this whole journey as well, basically exploring all the edges that we still find valuable. Course in Miracles calls it, exploring the illusions that I have given value. And so I travel along that road of my temper tantrums. Basically, he calls that dreams are temper tantrums, like a wild hallucination where I say I want it thus, I want it that way, and so I walk along that road of my wild dreams, and letting myself be remembered or pursuing a practice, as you mentioned, Joshua, coming back to alignment. Like really, and I really have to forgive myself. Like no matter how long I've been away, months or years or centuries, like this is a new moment. Is that now I don't have to kind of work off my mountain of sins that I have accumulated in the time being. It's like it's a new moment now, and like you can come to the holy instant now. Like there's no one with a calculator who says, okay, now, I've been away for 5 months, so now you have to work 5 months to come back to the holy instant. Um, but that I that's what I find where I find so much gratitude for, that I can come again with wholly empty hands and see there's just a welcome, just a welcome into this present moment, and into the experience of freedom or liberation from the burdens that I've been harboring, and plans that I made, aspirations that I had, regrets that I accumulated, and see they're all equally nothing. They're equally nothing in truth. Like I come and I kind of expect some sort of retribution. So what might the verdict be when I come back to God, or
Yeah.
back to the joining? And there's no verdict. The verdict is you're innocent. You're still
And
completely healed and whole. Yeah, sure. Is that your How do you experience these moments of
I
return?
mean, this whole thing, when you're talking about this whole drama, it reminds you of that. I mean, that very famous. parable of prodigal son.
Exactly.
Yeah. The first time when as much as I can remember, and even often, even later, whenever you come across this parable of prodigal son, uh, even I myself had thought that that elder son was a wretched man, a bad man. Even when Jesus, the narrator of the parable, so even from even when Jesus was narrating the parable, and when you read it, you know that Jesus is narrating the parable, and that we know that he doesn't take sides. And but even then, when you're reading it in the Bible, I felt he's a bad man. When I was naive, I wasn't yet the prodigal son back.
That's a good one. I wasn't yet the prodigal son.
So it was very easy for me to judge him and to brand him. Sincerely, as much as I can remember, I feel it. I feel, no, Mukabe, he lost everything. He took his share already. I could relate with the younger son more because, come on, it's not fair. I didn't know what the parable was about even. And I was looking at the story, the narrative, the human drama there, and of course it was surprising, shocking what the father did. You know, he asked his servants for a new robe and asked them to give him a ring and put new shoes on him. And come on, this is a bad man coming home. But many years, even after, I had to come to course and, even years into all that, and then look back at this parable, and then I saw that, oh God, like the house back there with the dad and the other son was not the treasure. All the wealth the father had was not the treasure. This son was the treasure. When I became a prodigal son without even knowing, yeah, I did all this. I went around and I had already taken the share and I squandered it and I came back expecting a merciless uh,
Return.
reception,
Mhm.
beating and all that. But then you recognize now I can put myself in that shoes and I can see that, oh God, uh, it can happen to any one of us, and still you are the treasure. It's not the ring, it's not the robe, it's not the shoes, it's not the house that he came back to, or the father, or the wealth, or the legacy that he is going to inherit. No, it's none of it. It is you,
Mhm.
the one who has returned. That so whatever you were narrating, all that brought back this. and, uh, and every time it humbles and it moves, something cracks inside me whenever I think of this parable. And it's so resounding, it is so profound, it brings tears to me. And it renews us all. Every time you go through this, it gives us hope, a new kind of hope, not a gross kind of a hope, but a renewed hope in our own spirit, our own true self. That is the treasure that we are talking about here. That is the treasure we are meeting today.
Absolutely. So yeah, every round, every circle that we walk and go through the eye of a needle, I feel that the purification process was absolutely necessary, and that like um in a way every circle is the same story again. Like I squander my inheritance and believe that I'm autonomous. I'm by myself. I created myself. I have become whom I have made myself to be, and walk through the world. And I see that the burden of this belief, like it really, basically, it's like a homing device that kind of brings you home anyway. It gets too heavy, and at one point that you have to surrender and have to remember there's something else, right? There was something else. God, whoever's there, please help me through that layer in my mind and the confusion. And so he does, and I get to eat the humble pie again, and not to believe in my thoughts and aspirations so much anymore, because I feel that these thoughts are painful, the judgments that I have, the images that I hold about myself, and I see that I'm lacking the nourishment, I'm lacking um, the the remembrance of who I am in this moment. And uh, I like how this plays out. Like we, our perspective is probably way too limited to see that all roads lead to that. They lead to a present joining, and they lead past all my ideas how a spiritual awakening is supposed to look like, or what that would feel like. And I can just say, yeah, whatever I have experienced already, or whatever I think someone else has experienced as an awakening or a coming home, all of that is heartily invited to be dropped, to let go of. And so I can really come back to myself. I can really come back to a present joining with myself. And a great indicator that Jesus gives us is the brother. Is your brother included, or is he someone outside? Is he someone else? So I think that's so strong. That's such a strong um, hand that he's giving us, that it cannot be ignored. Like I can say, yeah, I'm in a good experience of myself, but it rests on excluding you. You know, it rests on excluding a disturbance that you are representing. You're representing a disturbance to my peace. I'm sorry. I have to, flee from the burden you represent. And Jesus says, this is not the way. We have a different path here. You are joined with your brother. So let's stand still for a moment longer and see if we can find the brother. If I find my brother, I find myself. And that's the least thing I want to hear, really. Like, I want to save my own butt, uh, but I don't want it to be saved by you. Um, so, all right, another round, another round of forgiveness, another round of becoming still in my mind and seeing really, yeah, that's actually not love. That's hate. And I can't come to the Father with hate in my heart. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I choose, for example, the lesson of the day. If you follow that a daily routine, there's no will but God's. My will is one with Him, with His will. And we open that up. Joshua, do you have an inspiration for opening that up, or something that comes to your mind?
Um, but to continue with what you were uh, mentioning, I think this whole idea of forgiveness, if you always, I mean, one of my favorite pastimes is to keep keep looking at the idea of forgiveness itself. Like, what is it? What is it? What is it? Don't take it for granted.
Mm.
The external processes should take a back seat at some point. It's not as gross as we think. Obviously, we have a brother at sight.
Mm.
We have the world in front of us, and this is a favorable um, a theater there. And now that we are using time to understand that I'm eternal, okay?
Mm.
And obviously, forgiveness is the tool for that. But let the gross form of forgiveness take a backseat at some point, and let me just rethink and come to connect forgiveness with this today's topic, that meeting the true self. And then it is so obvious to us that this is the way, this is the tool that helps us peel away what, like you said, what we made of ourselves, or what we think that we made of ourselves. Uh, Peel away Joshua, and so that I can come to see that I am the truth and the way and the life. So there was never such a relatable and a process that I can understand, a process that I can practice without fail, a process that I can repeat. So it's a very functional tool, this forgiveness. But then beyond all this, it is obviously taking me to this center. Uh, you know, even the word concentrate actually means it, being in the center. And so forgiveness helps to peel Joshua away so much so that I can come to the center. And that is a true self we are talking about. And uh, my God, such an amazing tool that you can use it in a gross way, but then even you, without knowing, the gross falls away, and then that process itself becomes such a sublime alchemy inside you that one day or some moment you get the glimpse of the truth that center. And which is why this I know forgiveness is such a favorite of all of us, because it delivers more than what we think it is and what we think it is doing actually. So isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
thoughts?
absolutely. Is like forgiveness offers everything I want. Like that's like hard to believe somehow. It's like, oh yeah, forgiveness is, it can kind of go with that understanding it's healing. Okay, I might need healing, and it's probably good to forgive. That's as far as I go in my ego mind. But like in the actual application of forgiveness in my mind, and like being open that it be shown to me, I did not understand what liberated me. I do not understand what forgiveness is. Jesus is praying with us in that second part of the lessons in the exercise book. Um, and just to be open for it to be shown. Uh, and when I manage to be concentrated enough to actually stay with that thought of forgiveness, and I allow for that tiny, tiny opening in my mind to question my beliefs, my thoughts, what I presently experience, um, it's it's opening up a completely new quality within me, and it holds the promise of my entire release. Uh, Again, if I manage to be focused enough to stay with it, and Jesus says therapy, healing is basically prayer. Like it's staying in that communication, in that active communication with Source. Um, it allows me to let more and more of my ideas to to drop, so I can really drop whatever is in my and in my consciousness, and just be in that wonder of what it actually does for me. And I can truly say forgiveness does offer everything I want, because it offers the release of every limitation, every lack, every problem, and every fear, and it replaces it with what's there in truth instead. And that's communion with Source. It's it's reflected here with um, gentleness. Like I finally can encounter you with gentleness and not with judgment, not with
Mm.
grievances. I can finally see that miracles are natural and there really is no problem. I do not have any problems, oh my God. And I can see the whole world in a new, fresh manner. And I don't know how that is for everyone, but um, in me, there's I don't know how to call it. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but there's a strong sense that we can't stop until it's complete. And I don't know
Mm.
how he wants to use us or me or you in that. I just know that he wants to. Like there's an urge, a push, like don't rest on your laurels, basically. Rest in God, but stay in your function and be happy. Raise your
Don't
head and
rest.
fear no evil. There's
Don't
nothing.
rest on your laurels. Yeah. Yeah. ACIM teacher for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years,
Yeah,
laurels.
yeah, yeah. Look
I've
what I
done.
achieved. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My friend Mariola asked me today when was the first time you decided to be a teacher, and I said I can't
Mm.
even remember that this was a thing for me to be a teacher. Um, like it was more. Like I just knew I can't keep that for myself. I need to move this somehow. I need to move this teaching within me. And my way that like I didn't even thought it was about talking. Um, the thing that emerged was like, yeah, talk about it, talk, speak the words, speak the teaching. And I
Mm.
discovered that it's expanding within me even more when I speak. So it
Mm.
wasn't like, hey, I want to be a teacher of A Course in Miracles as well, right? So, everybody knows. That was like an alien thought to me that you can actually present yourself like that. But it was more like, hey, isn't it like if you're a Course in Miracles teachers, don't you have that a teacher, don't you have that urge as well, like to move that material because it's so big and it's such a big lesson within you that we're here to learn. Um, so that's really what's driving me. It's almost like I have to remember to entangle myself again from the laurels that seem to be so natural. Like you've been doing this for so long, as you said, Joshua, like you've been doing this for 15, 20, 30 years. You must be a good teacher. It's like, no, I'm not a good teacher. It just needs to go out. I just need to express that somehow.
Yeah. And by the way, in India, uh, being a Course in Miracles teacher doesn't no laurels, nothing. No one knows.
Oh,
They
good,
haven't
good,
even
good for
thought
you.
of the
You're in a good position then. Fortunate position.
Course in Miracles. What is he talking about? What?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same situation here. I mean, if you ask me, God, that was the last thing I had on my mind. And it's
Mm.
even now, you, you don't want to be a teacher or anything. I don't even know how to teach. But like you said, this is true for us all. Because when we surrender and then we speak, something expands. And the ego is insulted
Mm.
because there's no role.
Mhm.
Every
Uh,
time, just letting you know, every time we start this session, I wonder what will I say. Then I think, oh, maybe I should take notes. Maybe I should keep course here. Maybe I should focus on this, that. And then after a while, we speak, or maybe we roll on. You forget all that, and something takes us all ahead. And it's amazing. It's whew, what a ride.
yeah, yeah, and
What
I appreciate that so much. Like also within myself, but also with brothers who can stand in that moment where the ego is insulted. Like I am insulted. I feel I am insulted. I feel this and that. Like something's lacking, something's too much, something's too little, something's not right. Um, but to be in those places and to choose again and to simply choose again. Like I choose a miracle, I choose the present joining, whatever, whatever lesson comes to our mind or whatever tool comes to our mind. And to go into this borderland where we still believe in those illusions, but we kind of start to doubt it already and start to lay it down. And this other quality, that inner quality, starts to shine within us and amongst us. And it's, mm, I think that's why it's forgiveness. You give it before you experience it. Actually, you go through the movement, you go through the application before you feel the benefits of it. Like basically gardening. You garden, you prepare your garden before you can see that anything is growing at all. But then all of a sudden you see, oh my God, yeah, there's a little green leaf coming out of the ground. Oh, that's good. So I keep on doing that. I keep tending the garden. And all of a sudden the atmosphere changes and we are standing in a different perception basically together. And like, oh my God, what did happen? I forgot to judge for a moment. I actively applied forgiveness to forget judgment. And that's huge. I think that's why he's calling us mighty companions, because only trained minds can stand there for a moment together. And what we're doing in that is basically we're crossing worlds. We're crossing one world entirely uh, into another, and it's a huge thing. Like it's contradicting the entire teaching of the world. But yet here we are, and we're experiencing it. So
Yeah.
wow, what a witness.
Yeah. Andres, I kind of am curious about our brothers here.
Mhm.
Maybe they can share something about, I mean, of course, spirituality is a sweet word and it has its own sweet rewards. But are we willing to drop our concepts, our ideas to meet the true self? And how far are we willing to go? How far, uh, maybe some anecdotes or any sharing anyone
Mhm.
would, yeah. Um, or do you think that there's a price to pay still, or
Mhm.
or maybe how the process happened to any one of you? I'm just curious. Yeah.
Ja, und wenn jemand auf Deutsch teilen will, ich kann das auch gerne dolmetschen. I can also translate if someone wants to share in German.
Mm. I mean, you can go on studying A Course in Miracles forever.
Mhm.
Is that a choice? Is that what we want, or is that, do we want to just, uh, you know, basically this is what, as we understand, is a reawakening of the knowledge of who you are and who you are always are. And have such moments blessed you, or um, is there an everyday process that you do, or
Mhm.
have there been instances of these blessings that have amazed any one of you? And I'm just opening this space if anyone like to share, or otherwise Andreas can.
Mhm. Yeah, we can maybe keep a silent room for a moment and see if something sparks. Someone gets a spark to share. Petronella, for example. Can you turn on your camera if you find the button? Ah,
Don't like
right.
turning on my
No,
camera at this time of the
Kirsty,
morning,
right.
Andreas. It's
Okay.
It's
Kirsty. Yeah,
Kirsty.
hi. Don't like turning it on at this time of the morning. Um, yeah, hi. I just wanted to share what I've been experiencing recently, and that is um, it's a kind of handing over idea to Holy Spirit. So I was talking to a friend this morning. Um, we're reading the text together in the morning, and we were saying, "Oh yeah, let's hand this over. Let's hand this over." And I was thinking, well, for me, handing over to Holy Spirit is not like, going into a laundrette and handing your washing over. It's more like, for me, allowing it to be exactly as it is and feeling gratitude for it, whatever it may be, that whatever our egos will perceive as extremely obstructive or unhappy. Um, what I tend to do is in order to hand it over, is to sit there and allow and to withdraw all my projections and to hit that note of gratitude for whatever it is, no matter how appalling it is. Hit that note of gratitude, and whenever I feel genuine gratitude for it, I feel something in my body which I don't know what it is, but the closest way I could probably describe it is like Kundalini energy or something like that. It's very strong. It's not subtle, it's strong, and it will actually take over my whole body. And I get that whenever I am genuinely hitting the note of gratitude, when I'm genuinely forgiving, and I can do this or hand it over. And I'm not doing anything. It's not really handing it over. It's only when I get that gratitude and then that energy that um that it's genuinely forgiveness. And I'm always put in mind when this happens of, I think it's a sixth stage of development of trust, where it says this, or no, fifth stage, sorry. It says something like this, it can take a long time, and were each stage not so heavily reinforced, it would be hard indeed. And
Mm.
I've never really understood what heavy reinforcement means, but in my case, it seems to be that there is this almost somatic kind of affirmation going on with me that yes, that is forgiveness. And this happened to me. I had a grievance with somebody in my mind. Well, not ancient, but it's a long-term grievance, and I was getting so fed up with it. I thought, I can't remember the daily lesson. I think it was 68 actually, because I'm working through it this year. I think it was 68. And I just said, I'm not going to move from here until I have just forgiven this person. And I really hit that note of gratitude for this person for showing up and showing me where there's still fear and guilt in my mind. And it was just beautiful. It was just, it was such a relief. And then the weird thing was, because one of the things that my ego is not liking at the moment is I've got all sorts of financial issues going on. And the really weird thing was, I was about to go on to a meeting with the bursar's office at my daughter's school. She goes to a fee-paying school, but I'm struggling to pay the fees. And I was the miracle that the forgiveness process that I did had nothing to do with money. It had nothing to do with wanting to attract abundance into my life at all. That wasn't it. But I went on into the bursars meeting, and this most unbelievable miracle happened. Not only did I was my son's bursary there is set, it's fixed, and she was talking about massively increasing that bursary as well as my daughter's, which was a complete miracle because that kind of thing isn't even meant to happen. I'd never even thought about that. So what I've noticed is I can get provision or abundance in my life. Obstacles seem to things that cause me stress can dissolve, but only when the only thing I want is God, not when I'm actually going after that itself. So that's my experience.
Yeah. Seek the kingdom first, huh? and everything else will be given onto you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. As a great
Thank you.
observation that, like the forgiveness, forgiveness process had nothing to do with um, the fees or with abundance, but with a grievance you had. And all of a sudden, in other areas, you see that your problems are solved as well. And that's always amazing how that plan plays out. Thank you for that beautiful example, Kirsty.
Thank you, Kirsty. Yeah, like I said, the changes could happen on the level of form, and but more than that, the sublime and the subtle changes that are happening within due to a process of forgiveness, we can't measure it, or we don't know where we're being led, but as a fringe benefit, all these external situations may change, and these things happen, and sometimes it's unbelievable that it is just a change of mind that brings everything. I mean, the change outside. So,
Mhm.
but of course, we have this, a long ancient teaching, uh, hermetic principle, as within, so without. So it's like whatever changes inside is bound to make the changes outside, because it's all projection of us. So the change that we bring within is actually changing the projection itself. And but till we are worried about and concerned about, or we are having those energetic investments uh, in the outside, and we would want to actually, we are so tempted to have those changes outside. Even course teachers do. I mean, all of us do. Would want, some beautiful, a garden. If it's a garden, the garden, we wish the garden to be beautiful garden. If we have a home, we wish to have a beautiful home. So that
Mhm.
is part of, the aesthetics and the harmony of the form. Is it comes with the package, our wish, our desires, and we're not blamed for it. We're even supported to some extent in the course, that we do have our bodily needs, and so those things are taken care of. And many times I think course itself promises that even your path, the crooked path will be, the curves will be straightened, even a tiny rock on your stone on your path will be removed, and so forth and so on.
Mhm.
So that happens. So, but ultimately, while that is happening on the side, and our lives are refreshed in a way, this most important goal, the destination, is also being, it is also unfolding, that we are reawakening our remembrance of who we are. So that, I think, that is where um, the phrase hits the mark, that you seek the kingdom means like you, and course corrects Bible, right? And it says that it's not like kingdom is within you, rather kingdom is you. So seek the kingdom means like seek who you are, and then everything is added. So I think her case, Christie's case, was a pure demonstration of the principle,
Mhm.
isn't it?
So, thank you. Marianne wants to share something.
Oh yeah, Marianne.
You're already
Ja,
unmuted. Yep.
ich werde in Deutsch sprechen.
Mhm. I will talk in German. Lass uns Satz für Satz machen, Marianne, ja?
Ja, ich konnte glauben, dass Gott die Welt erschaffen hat aus dem Nichts als Idee.
I could believe that God created the world out of nothing as an idea.
Warum kann ich nicht glauben und erfahren, dass ich die Welt aus der Idee erschaffen habe, beziehungsweise gemacht habe, nach meinem
Why,
Willen?
Why can't I accept the idea that I have made the world according to my will?
Ja, danke schön. Mit der gleichen Macht.
With the same power?
Danke schön.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we have a good example of that, like in dreams, we easily make up worlds, and when we wake up, it's not a big thing. We just made it up, and so so with this one, and I think the idea that seems to make impossible is that it seems so. The evidence seems to be so heavy that the world is outside. And if I release my idea that I'm somehow guilty or judged or incomplete, it becomes easy and transparent. And I can kind of somehow accept the idea. Yeah, it could very well be that I made it up. I don't know how, um, but I can see that it doesn't have the solidity that I believed it has. It's not uh, it's not pressing. It's not a pressing fact that the world is. It becomes uh, this belief becomes loosened as we go with forgiveness. In a way, I don't mind, I don't mind that I don't see how I made it, but what I mind is that I receive new experiences about it. Like what is it really? What am I really? What am I with you really? And that's what's making me happy. The release of that.
Um, if I may add, uh,
Of course.
I, well, in the first place, we don't need to actually convince ourselves that we made this, because the teacher says you. The book says you made this. And that you is like all of us. So it's a son's work. It's the miscreation of the creation. I mean, we together as a creation miscreated the world. So, but individually, it doesn't make sense, because individuality itself is a projection of the entity, the collective sonship. So individually making something, individual itself is the part of projection. So Marion itself is part of your projection. And we are all part of your projection. So you're absolved of that sin. You're not. Marion did not make this. You means we all. So it's like the sonship made us. But anyway, I mean, we don't need to take even that extra burden also to. But like
Mhm.
Andreas said, it's always said it's good to, even at some point, Kosei said, do not look back into the past, but look into the past only to understand that you made an error. That's it. Don't get fixated with that. You don't need to actually go back, think back. And it even asks us not to think about separation or talk about like my will and God's will are separate and all that. It is trying to protect us by not stepping back into that sort of energy. So, that can be left for our own healing in the present moment. So rather, I think we can focus on the solution. The answer always is forgiveness.
Mhm.
What you did or what you did not do, I mean, all this is hallucination. So in the end, we're all saved, not doomed. So,
Undoomed. Did you say undoomed? We are undoomed. That's a good one.
that's okay. Because we believe that we are doomed. So undoomed is the right word. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, no one.
Hooray, Marin is free. Hooray.
Yay.
She's not responsible for it.
Right.
Today is the day of the release.
She has nothing to do with it.
No, she's not nothing to do with it.
Oh, I just have
Okay.
the lesson 237 open here. Now would I be as God created me? I'd love to share that one. Because like you mentioned also, like let's stay with the solution. Um, and yeah, that's just a short one, just to, so I
Yeah.
remember who I am. Now I would be as God created me. Today I will accept the truth about myself. I will arise in glory and allow the light in me to shine upon the world throughout the day. I bring the world the tidings of salvation, which I hear as God, my Father, speaks to me. And I behold the world that Christ would have me see. Aware it ends the bitter dream of death. Aware it is my Father's call to me. Christ is my eyes today, and he the ears that listen to the voice for God today. Father, I come to you through him who is your Son and my true self as well. Amen.
Amen.
Now I would be as God created me. Thank you, Joshua. And I would like to extend that invitation again if anyone is here who wants to share an experience of awakening or release, please be our guests and then mute yourself.
Hello, everybody. Hi,
Hi,
Ankit.
Danisha. Hey,
Hi,
good to see
hi,
you.
Josh. Hi, hello. So excited today when you came up with the imagery of gardening while explaining forgiveness. I spend most of the day amongst my plants. And the best part of gardening is, and it's so relatable, um, the best part that I enjoy is while I mix the soil. I I mix it with enough probably coco peat and vermicompost and manure, some garden soil. I mix and I enjoy that part so much that I forget what is it that I'm planning to plant. Forget the fruit or the result of it. It is such a joyous thing to, indulge in. Feel the same for forgiveness. There is this mm, uh, that part where you said that you don't actually, you forget to judge and you don't know what the result or the outcome would be, but it just happens. And there is this constant, now I feel there is a constant backdrop of happiness in me, a happy me. uh, Even while I'm sad sometimes, a little anxious, a little worried, there is this backdrop of happiness. And I meet anyone, everyone, I don't know, uh, it's sometimes a silly, irrational, illogical kind of happiness. I'm simply so happy to meet and to look at people. They may not feel the same, probably. They may not smile back at me, but I feel so happy. So probably it's some kind of forgiveness working in me. And thank God you both, um, confess that you don't know how to teach. That's one reason that I totally can make sense out of what you were saying.
Yeah, giving
Hope you
is
never learn to teach.
yeah. We're learning like really teaching or like gardening are just special forms how we can learn that giving is receiving. And I think that's, it comes down to that. Like, no matter the words that we use to teach or the methods you use to plant or to tend your garden, what really makes me happy is that when I come into some sort of true process of giving and receiving, and that's the backdrop of happiness. It's like, oh my God, wow, it's beautiful. I can just give something. Look, I can give something. Something's happening. I can see it unfolding. And uh, I think it's a fail-safe program that we're in. Like life is a fail-safe program. We'll find our way back home because the laws of God still apply, no matter how deeply we've gone into the dream of darkness and judgment. um, we'll find those cores where we feel, oh my God, that's better. I don't know what am I doing? Why do I feel better? I'm in the garden. I'm giving and receiving. So there's some contrasting experience that tells us there's something different. I don't have to be in worry all the time. There seems to be a different experience available. And I think that's the call. It kind of step by step leads us out of our um, judgmental, worrisome dreams and shows us a happy dream that we can easily awaken from. And yeah, thank you. So I think we all have our own special forms where we see that we are actually free. And it's also great that you share your observation. Like even if those guys don't respond to my loving feelings toward them, like I didn't lose anything. Like when I share my gratitude and my love for the bypassers, I receive. And if they're looking or not, if they um, communicate or not, like it's not wasted. It's still expanding within me.
Yeah, because when you're giving to yourself. Master very clearly says that whatever
Mm.
you're giving to yourself.
Yeah.
This is why the ego is getting so insulted. I mean, there is absolutely no role. Even when you said Denisha is sad, Denisha is sad, but I'm happy. See, you don't need a Denisha to be happy. You don't need an Andreas or a Kevin to be happy. This is the the treasure, the kingdom that he's talking about. So you struck that chord. So and keep at it, be there, feel it, and so that it grows and it becomes your truth, and this becomes your untruth. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah. This is actually, I think, uh, thousands of sadhaka, the meditators around the world. This is where they want to reach, where you can actually experience that separation of false and the true. Kosei said people have spent years and years in meditation to find this, but now it's easy with what you're doing, forgiveness all the time. So it's amazing. Thank you, Dinesh.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that openness so much that we can allow for for an experience that doesn't relate to anything in the past. Like it's something that comes in fresh and touches us, or we can recognize it. Oh, there's something new emerging amongst us in this moment, and I can just allow it to be new. Like I don't recognize it from the past, but I recognize that there's no reference. I don't know, maybe I'm getting too abstract, but I'm just trying to put words to it. There's no reference to from what I experience now to what I know from the past. And that's always a good indicator for God, that it's a reflection of God's thought. Like, I don't know this, but it feels good. Thank you. I'm glad I have no category for this.
I'm glad that I have no role in this.
Yeah. I'm being
Thank
undone, thank God. But I'm becoming undoomed. Undoomsday.
Yeah. Yeah. But this also, it has to come from my willingness. That is important. So it's when I say I have no role, my salvation is coming from me because it is coming from my willingness. There is nothing in me to save or to be or to change or to do, but my salvation comes from me, means my salvation comes from my willingness to know who I am, to reawaken who I always was. So, these are the good that we opened the mic, Andreas. I mean, these are the testimonials that encourage all of us that, it is happening. This is happening. This is becoming an everyday experience for many of us, most of us, and that is something new. Iris, you
Du musst ihn noch freischalten, wir hören dich noch nicht.
unmute.
I forgot. I just want to share my gratitude with you all, brothers. You're so wonderful. Since last year's lesson, oh, sorry. Oh, the tears are, wow, it's holy. They're holy tears, In that last lessons, in the middle of the night, I opened my eyes, light flashes. I thought, what's that? Oh, Jesus. Holy Spirit, help me. Yesterday, even the firm structures from walls, the light seeked through. That's how history, history, not histories, history. I'm not hysteric. No.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the Christ contact that you're nurturing. Of course, there are experiences around that, like light experiences, but what stabilizes you is the Christ contact.
I can feel such a love that
Mhm.
I never felt before. Really, that's coming like a light. It broke my heart. I don't know. It's so beautiful. You all are so beautiful. I love you. I love you, brother.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you, folks.
This reminds me of what Course says that you cannot communicate this.
Mhm.
And what she is experiencing is not, you cannot communicate.
Mhm.
And it is meant for that self, that it's
Mhm.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and the thing with experiences or not being able to share experiences, this is always a topic especially amongst, spiritual groups or course groups. Um, like Jesus says, okay, we can share vision or grace and things like that. Like that's shareable. We can share vision. But if someone speaks of an experience, I can say to Jesus, okay, I hear Iris speak of something. Show me what she means. And he will relate an experience that I can accept. So it doesn't become like an outside like event, and I have no access to that. But I can say, hey, this sounds great. What you've got, I want that too, Jesus. Make it so. And somehow he will find a way
Okay.
to show me.
Yeah. I'm sure that you must have had a lot of experience because you've been holding festivals and I mean, witnessing these shifts happening. And then, so this is how you relate to uh, a testimonial? Is that how you look at?
Yeah, like I'm always very curious if someone talks about it because there might be a chance that it touches me, like
Mm. And
and I
you
can
don't want to lose it. You don't want to
I
miss
don't
it.
want to lose it, like there's someone giving a testimony. So, wow, like thank you. Like let me tune in if I can. And
Let me also have a piece of that cake.
yeah, right. Like what does Jesus say? If God answers someone, does it
Uh,
make it less available for you, or is it just an encouragement for you that you have access to that as
oh,
well?
I hadn't thought about this at all. And this perspective is quite new to me. Amazing. That's beautiful.
Mm. Yeah, and like I'm sure that all of us are more than happy to be in the experience of it because it's like experiences, what can you say about experiences? No, it's there. Like no words are needed, no teaching. It's just, wow, I'm in the middle of it. Amazing. Thank you so much that I can experience God's thought, basically. And you know.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hmm.
Oh, today feels so rich. This is
Mm.
so good.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Linda, yeah, unmute yourself, please.
Yeah. Linda, keeping and
I've been
giving, Marion. Yes.
wanting to share, but terrified because I don't sound very clever. And the ego saying, no, you stupid, you're stupid. You don't share, don't share. However,
However, exactly.
however,
You
However,
are.
there it comes.
here it comes. Like now, it's a bit of a story. When I was 2.5, my brother was born, and my mum let my neighbours take me for a walk. This is like, I'm 80 this year, so it's a long time ago. I was 2.5 up this narrow lane to some allotments. And whilst we were going up there, and I had this experience of not being Linda, I was one with every living tree, bush, leaf, the air, everything. I was not Linda. And I've never, ever forgotten it. And I've always been searching for it again. I've been looking for God ever since. And so we get now to where I am now. I've got 4 children. I had a husband that tried to kill me with rat poison. And I finally stood up for myself. These words said, this is the first time you've ever had to look after yourself. stand up for yourself. And I finally did go to the police. It all went to court, and his barrister said that I had made him do it because I'd got varicose veins. It was rat poison. And the judge, there was a jury, the judge said not guilty and just walked off. He didn't say anything else. And the policewoman who was looking out for me said she'd never seen a judge so angry. However, I didn't want anything nasty to happen to my husband, Bill. So I was really pleased that he wasn't going to go to prison. And the outcome was the house, he kept the house and I had half of it, the money. So the 4 children, yeah, but there was aggro between the children. And all I've ever wanted was the children to be happy, which would bring me happiness. And then when my ex-husband died about 5 years ago, his estate, he didn't have a will, and it's completely broken the family. And all I wanted, I've been trying to figure out how I can bring them together, how I can make it happy again. And a few weeks ago, well, it was probably a month, I've been doing the course since about 2007, 6, something like that. Never really understood what the words were saying. However, this year, they've started to sound like a different book. About a month ago, I decided, who decided? I was going to concentrate and give God time. So I started to do the lessons, the recent ones, and where it says every hour, say, sort of every 10 minutes. So I've started to do that. And things started to happen, like I've forgiven my son that I've looked after. He's lived with me for loads of different times. He's living on a canal boat, and just about Christmas time, he sent me a text saying, I don't want anything more to do with you. Keep out of my life. And I thought, right. And I thought, oh, how can I get back? No, he doesn't want. This is his lesson for this lifetime. He's been given to me, and I've been given to him, as we all are in this family, for our awakening. So I've let him go into God's hands, and I say the blessing. It's in here. A blessing from number 73, lesson 73. So I've been saying that, and I love him. I love them all. I love everyone. I've been saying it for years. And Chris is throwing that back at me. Oh, you love everyone. And I see everyone as the Christ as I'm walking down the street. I can talk to anybody. However, it came to my mind that I've been trying to sort these things out in why I want them sorted. I want it happening like this. And then yesterday, I was able to see and give the whole thing to God's plan. It's Mother's Day today, right? Got 4 children. Nothing. No one said anything. They've not come to see me. nothing. And I woke up this morning. I've been waking up every morning recently for a few months, thinking of my son in the canal boat. Oh, wonder what he's doing. Oh, wonder, really messing my head. So that I get up and I'm planning my day. But yesterday, the plan was not there. There was nothing. What do I do? Oh, just do what I'm doing right at this moment, right now, in this moment. And I was able to just be in this moment. I didn't have to do anything. Whatever was there, I did. And the peace that was coming over me was amazing. And I saw that I could let go of what I wanted to happen. It was God's plan. All of it is for our awakening. There's no words. I haven't got any more words to say. This morning I woke up and I was able to be totally in peace. I've never known it. I've never known it before. And I'm thinking, I daren't share this. I daren't share this. This sounds so stupid.
It
But
sounds so
I
beautiful.
can't believe how I woke up this morning. I was happy in a way that there's no words for it.
Yani,
So
ഇത്
anyway,
ആദ്യത്തെ
something's made me do this. Something's
Thank,
shown me how to, but
thank,
it's God's plan, not my plan of what I want. If
thank you,
nothing
Linda.
happens with my children, that's fine.
Thank you so
I
much. That's
just
beautiful.
can't. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
it communicates, like thank you for that, like how do we put that in words, but like the aliveness communicates, like you've been touched by him, and you've been carried through like an ancient grievance story basically, and all of a sudden, oh my God, there's this huge insight. It's all for our awakening. It's
Yes,
just one purpose for everything. Like,
yes,
and it's not even on my choosing. Like, it's already so. I can just find my way to join with that, but it's already there. I can already I can count on it and experience
yes.
it.
One
Beautiful.
of the things that I forgot to say was
Hmm.
in the last, well, for the 5 years when the whole of the not will happened, I have been through the dark night of the soul. I knew I mean this I've heard of this, the dark night of the soul. It was horrendous. It was so many things came up for everywhere. Money, no money, all my children at loggerheads, all wanting me to agree with them that I went through hell. It was the most, and I'm thinking, I'm this age. Why is it happening now? I I should be happy at the end of my life. And it was the worst, like 5 years of my life. So I forgot to say that. Yeah. And then
Thank you, Linda.
practicing this course as it is actually telling me to do every, like 10 minutes every 10. Well, my phone, even when I'm with people, can say it in my mind.
Yeah. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, sir. And by the way, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Andreas, I'm really sorry, but my Indian class is waiting. So
Yes.
right.
Sorry,
Okay.
I went over.
no,
Sorry.
no, 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 no. That's
That's
not sorry.
good.
This is beautiful. Not never stupid. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, just
Thank you.
asking for your permission. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hey, Mariola wants to share something, but if you need to go, Joshua, so please.
Oh no, bye. Hi.
So
I was laying on a sofa when you were guys talking, and I got into like a shallow sleep, and I was woken up on a sentence that someone said that I was doing the lesson 68 or 86, I don't know, about the forgiveness. So long until it worked, and I was, oh, maybe I have to practice it. And then I was going into so much stuff in my mind, like finally facing so many fears that I don't want to face, and all those feelings that feel so uneasy. And somehow it turned out that your story, Linda, is somehow so resonating with me, and it was really amazing just to join with you guys today. Thank you. It was,
Thank you.
yeah. And like the thought that I found out that was new to me, like the blog, was that I really am afraid to be myself. That's the fear of being here and now for me, of being seen, of just being truly here, because there is something wrong.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mariela. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
thank you.
Right.
Thank you for your
Uh,
sharing.
Yeah. Andreas, can I
Absolutely. We're done. God
see
bless
you
us
all?
all.
See
Thank
you
you
all
for
after 2
everything.
weeks. Yeah, after.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks, guys.
Thanks,
See you.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. God
Bye-bye.
bless
Thank you.
us.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.